Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Baltimore Ravens on Penn Live. I'm Dawn White. Here in Owings Mills, Maryland, we are here at the first day of open training camp for the Baltimore Ravens. And if you take a look behind me, you can see purple tents here and a line of fans down there. Definitely a big turnout for the first day. Coming in here, a big line of cars coming in. You can feel the excitement in the parking lot as the first day of open camp is getting ready to start at 11:45. And I'm joined now by PennLive reporter Aaron Kasinitz.
Absolutely.
I think I got that right. I was afraid I was going to butcher that.
You definitely did. How you doing, Don?
Good. How about you?
Great, great. Excited to get things started here.
Yeah. Fans here yesterday. You were here yesterday where veterans showed up. And a lot of excitement this year. There's a lot of new things happening. There are 2 new quarterbacks coming this year as well.
Yes, so Robert Griffin III got signed as kind of a veteran guy, but the big name, the guy fans really want to see is Lamar Jackson. He's the 2016 Heisman Trophy winner. The Ravens drafted him in the first round. They moved up in the first round to get him. He'll start as Joe Flacco's backup, but these people want to see what he can do.
Well, I know the Ravens coaching staff, they've got a lot of questions from the press. Is Joe Flacco going to be your starter? And the coaches have said he is.
Yes.
But if he starts playing badly, you have to wonder if the fans will start chanting Lamar Jackson at some of the games. And he's a Heisman Trophy winner not too long ago. RG3, also Rookie of the Year back in 2012. So he was very good back in the day when he played for the Redskins,
Yep.
not too far away from here.
Right, exactly, right down the road. And I think that's one of the things that the Ravens don't mind. They like Joe Flacco feeling a little bit of pressure. Joe Flacco's been a Super Bowl winning quarterback, but he hasn't quite kept statistical pace with some of the other really good quarterbacks in the league. He hasn't kept statistical pace with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. So maybe if you put a little pressure on him, you get some names in here, Robert Griffin III, Lamar Jackson. These fans, as we said out here, they're gonna be itching to see those guys. A little pressure on Joe Flacco. We'll see how he performs under that pressure and whether that maybe gives him a little boost.
I think a lot of the fans are hoping that the pressure kind of gets him on his toes, gets him playing at his best, because back in 2008 when John Harbaugh, the coach, joined the team, and Joe Flacco, they were really good, went to the Super Bowl, but the past 3 years, not so great, missed the playoffs. So a lot of excitement here, hoping that this year can be a little bit better. And article that you wrote, we probably won't go through all of them. You wrote an article about them, the 30 players to keep an eye out for here at training camp. What are a couple of the players that you think would be good to watch out for today?
Yeah, so we tried to look at some of the players who will be most important to the Ravens this year. And I think one guy that I'm really curious to see in training camp practice is cornerback Jimmy Smith. He's really been their best cornerback the last couple of years, but last season, late in the year, he was put on injured reserve with a torn Achilles, and that's a serious injury. A torn Achilles sometimes
it's about as bad as you can get.
Exactly. Sometimes it takes a full year to come back. So he's not on the physically unable to perform list. He should be out there practicing. I don't think he'll do everything, but I think it's going to be really important to monitor him. I think I had him as the 3rd most important Ravens player, because in today's NFL, you got to be able to defend the pass. He's a really good cornerback. He can make plays. And I think it's going to be really important to see how much he can do to see if he's ready for week 1. That'll be important. And then beyond that, I think the receivers are really interesting to me because they reshaped the receiving.
And it seems like that is what kind of had been lacking. The Ravens were always known for defense, which hasn't been quite as good over the past couple years, but when the Super Bowl happened, a lot of the good receivers left, so they're kind of starting from scratch with that.
Right, exactly. And last year they had some decent names. Mike Wallace was a guy who they had. They had a few decent receivers, Jeremy Maclin, but they just didn't produce. So the Ravens let all those guys walk. They cut a few of them, and they brought in 3 new guys, three veteran new guys. Michael Crabtree, 10-year veteran. Willie Snead used to play for the Saints. John Brown used to play for the Cardinals. And I think it's going to be important to see how those guys, since they're new faces, connect with Flacco, connect with Lamar Jackson as well, and really, can they give the Ravens offense the boost they needed? Because last year, Baltimore just didn't have explosiveness, didn't have those big plays down the field. Will they be able to do that this year? Those 3 new guys are the ones who kind of steering that ship.
A lot of people were commenting on some of the Facebook articles on the Baltimore Ravens on PennLive page that the Ravens weren't horrible last year, they were just boring. Right. There were a lot of fireworks going on like the old Ravens.
Right. And with Lamar Jackson, because the Ravens they do intend to use Lamar Jackson, even if he's not the starting quarterback. They're going to use him in different situations. Trying to speak loudly without beeping in the background.
That's right.
So they're going to use him, so he'll be exciting. These new receivers are exciting. They drafted a tight end, Hayden Hurst. So yeah, that's a great point. The Ravens, they were 9-7 last year. They had some good pieces. This year, they added a little bit of pop. They added a little bit of explosiveness. We'll see if that helps them win more games.
We'll probably see Lamar Jackson in some of the preseason games. I'm guessing they'll test him out and see how he does. And even during the regular season, with Flacco being the anticipated quarterback, John Harbaugh has said that he does plan to put Lamar Jackson into some of the plays. Definitely use him and use his skills and his ability and talents.
Right, and we've talked about the fan excitement. I know I keep saying it, that's what everyone wants to see. How will they use Lamar Jackson? Will they line up out wide? Will they have a package of plays for him to play under center? Will they have a package of plays for him in the red zone? They're going to find a way to make use of his talents, even if Joe Flacco remains starting quarterback for a little while. How they're going to do that, when they're going to use those plays, we're going to figure that out eventually, and it starts with training camp. And like I said, these fans are really itching to figure out when they'll see Lamar Jackson.
And actually, RG3, he put out a tweet that he's going to mentor Lamar Jackson, that when he started out as a young quarterback in 2012 on the Washington Redskins, that he really didn't have that. And he thinks that it's important to have a quarterback who you can look up to, who can give you advice on what to do, what not to do, and that sort of thing.
Yeah, if you remember when Robert Griffin III came into the league, the Redskins also drafted Kirk Cousins that same year, so their top two quarterbacks were rookies. Well, Lamar Jackson comes into a totally different situation. Joe Flacco's a 10-year veteran, a former Super Bowl MVP, and in terms of Robert Griffin being a leader, he's had an up-and-down career, but he's been through so much. He can really impart some wisdom on Lamar Jackson. He was a Rookie of the Year. He had struggles. He's battled injuries. He's battled controversy off the field. I think he really has been through so much. He can really help Lamar Jackson. The Ravens have done a good job surrounding Jackson with, you know, a good cast of not just players around him, but also mentors and leaders, and Robert Griffin III is a huge part of that.
And talking about the fan excitement, this complex here has been under renovation for 2 years, so last year it could only accommodate a very small group of fans, and this year it can accommodate up to 2,000 fans a day, and all the tickets for that sold out within a couple hours. So all the tickets for training camp are sold out. The Ravens are going to have open practice at M&T Stadium this Saturday in Baltimore. I believe if you go to our website, there's a link in there. There are a few open spaces for that, but you can just feel the excitement and the energy with fans being able to get back here this year. First day, line all the way around the corner. It was like...
Yeah, it was tough getting into the facility this morning.
It was. There was a police were out there directing.
Right, and I think that speaks to the fact that fans believe in these Ravens because they were one win away from the playoffs last year, and you got Lamar Jackson, you got some new pieces. There's a lot of excitement here. Over the next couple of weeks, the Ravens will put the work in to try and capitalize on that excitement and have a good season.
Yeah, and that's very true that the Ravens would have gone to the playoffs. It looked like they were going to go to the playoffs, and then with a couple minutes left, playing the Cincinnati Bengals, there was a touchdown there, and everyone looked shocked, and that was the end of the season. So, you know, definitely hopes for the fans and coaches that this could be finally the year where they get back to the playoffs.
Yeah, I think what I wrote this morning was there's excitement, but there's also a little bit of relief because I can finally move past that loss. And, you know, we'll be covering it on PennLive. We are starting covering the Ravens this year. We'll be here often, so we hope you guys are following along and, you know, enjoying the ride with us because it should be a fun season.
And Aaron and I will be going inside. We will be watching the first day of open training camp, and we both will be covering another story after camp.
Absolutely, yeah.
You'll go to the podium where John Harbaugh will speak and some of the players, and I will be talking to the fans about their excitement and expectations for the season. So if you tune back to this page, maybe in about 2 hours or so, when the training camp is over, you will be able to see those.
Yep, we'll have plenty of stories for you guys. It should be a fun day and then a fun couple weeks leading up to the season.
Yeah, so have a great day.